Good morning. Please be seated. It is a great pleasure to call the 86th spring commencement at the University of North Carolina at Asheville to order. To our graduating seniors and their family and friends, welcome to this moment in your lives. It was in the middle of the last century when our university moved to this property, 161 acres then. It included part of the Landon Roberts farm, and one of the board members at the time brought his family, his daughter, and they looked out into the clearing in front of what is now the Ramsey Library steps. And she, this lovely child, said, "I can see Pisgah from here." And if it were a sunny day, we could literally see Pisgah. Our graduates, I know that you've admired it many times across our formal quadrangle. Students, faculty, staff, and generations of Western North Carolinians have looked to Mount Pisgah to renew our spirit and our mind, for inspiration and creativity, and as a reminder of the biblical Pisgah, a symbol of what your future holds. Today, you might envision Mount Pisgah by looking up at each end of the Kimmel Arena, designed into the architecture of this building, a feature reflecting our inspiring mountain landscape. Today, this very special day, we gather as a university community to celebrate all of your accomplishments and wish you well in your future endeavors. You have all learned so much during your time at UNC Asheville. Your liberal arts education makes you uniquely prepared, creative, and visionary leaders for tomorrow. Your education, your friends, your faculty and staff members, and your alma mater, UNC Asheville, will always be here. And should you find yourself needing a little bit of encouragement or inspiration, visit us or just look up. You can see Pisgah and your own uplifting and meaningful future from right here. Thank you and congratulations. Please welcome Elizabeth Acker, class of 2014. She's going to come forward and lead us in singing our national anthem. Would everyone please stand and join in the singing of our national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Each University of North Carolina campus is governed by a board of trustees, volunteers who offer their leadership and support of the university. We are pleased to have King Prather, chair of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, to bring greetings from our board.
Chancellor Ponder, distinguished members of the Platform Party, it is with immense pride that I have this opportunity to congratulate and address our graduating seniors on behalf of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees. Soon to be graduates, I join the UNC Asheville alumni, the faculty, the staff, your friends and families, as we gather to celebrate and to congratulate your great achievements in completing your respective degrees. Graduation Day, May 10th, 2014. It's a day that will occur only once in your life, It's a day for you to cherish the memories and the experiences that you have made here at UNC Asheville. It's a day to commemorate with delight the conferring of your degrees, hard-earned, I might add, and most importantly, to embrace your future. Embrace it with the confidence that comes from receiving an outstanding and seriously creative liberal arts education at this outstanding public university. You leave UNC Asheville today with the continued support of the dedicated faculty and as a respected alumnus from one of the finest universities in North Carolina. As soon-to-be UNC Asheville alumni, it's your responsibility to use your knowledge and your training that you received here to improve the lives of others throughout the rest of your life. Families of graduates, I know this is a very special day for you as well. The support given to your student and this university as a whole has resulted in making this day possible. And I ask you, not just as a member of the Board of Trustees, but as a parent of 3 UNC Asheville graduates, to continue to be engaged with UNC Asheville. Your time, your advocacy, your support will help lead the changes necessary for all UNC Asheville students to successfully experience a liberal arts education at its best. Soon-to-be graduates, the UNC Asheville trustees, the chancellor, the provost, the faculty, the National Alumni Council, everyone here today knows that you will represent the university well and with great honor. So once again, congratulations on your tremendous success. Go Bulldogs. Now please welcome to the podium Tiffany Drummond Armstrong, Chair of the National Alumni Council.
Thank you, King, and thank you, Chancellor. To the class of 2014, I bring greetings and congratulations from my colleagues at the National Alumni Council. I'm honored to be here today, the day that you join our ranks as UNC Asheville alumni. From the first 29 graduates to your class today, we have a long and proud lineage that includes congressmen, artists, corporate and nonprofit executives, community activists, professional athletes, educators, and entrepreneurs, just to name a few. In short, alums are out there all over the planet making a difference in their communities. And now, you join us. You too have the opportunity and responsibility to take the skills, the competencies, and the insights you've gained to change the world. You have within you the ability to assess and act. You have the capability and readiness to remove barriers. You have the preparation and the foundation to tackle the tough questions. You are seriously prepared. I have to tell you that I am excited to be here at this very minute, just moments before Chancellor Ponder presents you with your degrees. Graduating is no easy task. Barely a quarter of all adults in North Carolina have a college degree, no less from such a rigorous university. The reason that so many of our graduates are leaders in their fields is because this faculty and staff taught us to think. Life's tough, but here at UNC Asheville, you have learned the skills needed to ably navigate your life. I credit my professional and personal success to the solid foundation built at UNC Asheville. Know, too, that you do not face this world alone. Our Alumni Association is here to serve you, and lifetime membership is a gift of your alma mater. For the rest of your life, UNC Asheville will continue to support you in your endeavors and I call upon you to support your university. Plan to engage with your fellow alums in the cities where you live. Plan to return to campus for celebrations and events. And plan now, and I really urge you to commit now, to support and give back to UNC Asheville through your time, your expertise, and your financial gifts. You are not leaving this university today because you are the heart of this institution. While leadership may change, students change, faculty and staff may change, and the buildings may change, what remains constant is the alumni. We are the past, the present, and the future of this university, and I encourage you to come alongside your alums with purpose and passion for UNC Asheville. On behalf of the Alumni Council and all of our alum, we wish you the very best in your pursuits, and remember, you are now and will forever be a Bulldog. Congratulations.
The entire University of North Carolina system is governed by a Board of Governors comprised of prominent volunteer leaders from all across North Carolina. And so it's with great pleasure that I introduce to you today Rodney Hood. He's a member of the UNC Board of Governors, and he will not only bring you greetings, but he will present the 2014 Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Good morning. On behalf of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors and UNC System President Tom Ross, it is my great pleasure to bring heartfelt greetings to today's graduates, their families, to this university's distinguished faculty and staff, alumni, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Ponder, and members of the Platform Party. Again, greetings to you all. Before I continue my remarks, though, I want to thank Chancellor Ponder for the wonderful leadership and stewardship she's provided this university over the past 9 years. Through Chancellor Ponder, UNC Asheville now sits prominently in the pantheon of great American universities. Thank you, Chancellor Ponder, for your great leadership. And I'm proud as a North Carolinian to also say that UNC Asheville sits also prominently as a jewel in North Carolina's crown. But as I'm here this morning, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to recognize this year's recipient of the Board of Governors Excellence in Teaching Award at the University of North Carolina at Asheville. And this year's award recipient is Dr. Dwight Mullen, Professor of Political Science. Dr. Mullen, a rare combination of gifted teacher, active scholar, and engaged community leader, has devoted 30 years to challenging and motivating students to think critically about themselves and the world in which they live. His students praise him for making them question long-held concepts and beliefs. One student said, "Dr. Mullen taught us to ask the difficult, even painful questions that perhaps others would prefer that we overlook." Another added, "He gives his all to his students and asks only that they think and grow in return." Professor Mullen's innovative and inspiring teaching encourages students to use their creative and intellectual resources and apply their liberal arts education far beyond the academic community. Just as he asked of his students, Dr. Mullen believes his research and professional activities should not be located in an ivory tower, but rather in the center of the village. He's participated in reading groups at the Burton Street Recreation Center, involved students in the state of Black Asheville, given local radio presentations, written editorials for the Asheville Citizen Times, volunteered in public schools, served on numerous local boards, and was a Fulbright Senior Scholar in Malawi. His tireless dedication to his students and community inspired a faculty colleague to write, "The kind of teaching Dwight Mullen does is courageous. He not only talks the talk, but he also walks the walk, in and outside of the classroom." The myriad opportunities Dr. Mullen has provided for students to work along with him on issues of social justice and education, to participate in service learning, and to do undergraduate research have influenced them all deeply. One student wrote that Dr. Mullen instilled within his students the belief that they can play a pivotal role in improving their world. The profound impact Dwight Mullen has had on students might best be summed up in this student comment, which is truly at the heart and soul of a liberal arts college. "His class changed my life." So in honoring you this morning, Dr. Dwight Mullen, we also acknowledge the more than 14,000 dedicated faculty members who teach over 220,000 students throughout the University of North Carolina system. And just as you, sir, they all transform lives. Congratulations, Dr. Dwight Mullen.
Congratulations, and richly deserved. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 2013 recipient of the UNC Asheville Distinguished Teaching Award, Professor of Environmental Studies, Dr. Irene Rossell, to present this year's, the 2014 award.
Good morning. Congratulations to the class of 2014. We are very, very proud of you guys. I would like to take a few minutes this morning to present this year's UNC Asheville Distinguished Teaching Award. This is a long-standing tradition at our spring commencement ceremony. It's the highest honor bestowed by our campus, and students have played a very large role in the nomination process. The recipient of this year's Distinguished Teaching Award is someone whose life's work is at the heart of a liberal arts university. One faculty member wrote that the recipient is able to do in one class period something that can be difficult to achieve in an entire semester, which is to inspire students. Another faculty member wrote of his admiration that the recipient has mastered a mysterious and valuable skill, the ability to surprise students into thinking they might actually like the material they are about to learn. The recipient has taught freshman courses, upper-level courses, humanities courses, honors courses, and in the MLA program. The recipient has taught thousands of UNCA students. I did a quick estimate, and I came up with close to 4,000, but it could well be more than that. The recipient began their career at UNCA Asheville in 1987. Over the last 26 years, the recipient has made the job of many teachers across campus a lot easier, and I thank them for that. The recipient has taught Language 120, or its predecessor courses, more times than anyone else in the Literature and Language Department. For 2.5 decades, the recipient has dedicated himself to teaching the fundamentals of grammar, and the mechanics of writing, while inspiring students to put words on paper and challenging them to find their voices. This has not been an easy task. In student course evaluations for Language 120, many freshmen preface their comments with, "I don't like to write." Yet the recipient of this year's Distinguished Teaching Award is not daunted by reluctant writers. The recipient has successfully engaged all calibers of students in the classroom and has coaxed and motivated them to write year after year while providing endless personal feedback and encouragement, always with patience, humor, and grace. Students and faculty praise the recipient for caring deeply about students, respecting their opinions, and serving as a positive role model of a lifelong writer and thinker. One former student wrote that the recipient taught her that good writing takes courage and how life-changing that has been for her. And finally, the recipient maintains high standards in the classroom, consistently motivating students to think critically and consider multiple views. One student wrote, "You wouldn't let me get away with any less than my best." Those words speak volumes about the recipient of the 2013 to 2014 UNC Asheville Distinguished Teaching Award, Professor of Literature and Language, Dr. Peter Caulfield.
The William and Ida Friday Award honors the outstanding graduate who serves the larger community. This year, we honor Benjamin Judge. Ben, please come forward. Ben has been involved in student government since arriving on campus 4 years ago and has been the 2013-14 student government president. Through SGA and as a voting member of the Board of Trustees, he has worked tirelessly on behalf of students to be their voice on campus as well as at the legislature. Ben combines his aptitude for finance and economics with his passion for politics as a way to make the lives of those he serves, making him a catalyst for change. With this philosophy, Ben became a certified tax professional in order to provide tax services to low-income households through a program called VITA, sponsored by the IRS. He helped develop the Greenway that we will have all the way to downtown from UNC Asheville. For these and countless other community service activities, we recognize Ben Judge as this year's recipient of the William and Ida Friday Award for Community Service. Congratulations, Ben. The A.C. Reynolds Award and Thomas D. Reynolds Prize are presented to a graduate who has demonstrated outstanding service to the campus community. This year we recognize Carly Zeman. Carly, please come forward. Carly's service to the campus has been demonstrated in a variety of roles during her time at UNC Asheville. She served as resident assistant in Overlook Hall for the past 2 years, providing a safe and inviting community for her residents to grow and develop and belong. She served the student body as an active and vocal Student Government Association senator for the past 2 years. As a senator, she provided insights on students' needs related to dining services, club sports, and other internal affairs. Carly approaches her service and leadership roles on campus with confidence, integrity, intelligence, and humor. She is formidable at accomplishing goals in a competent and effective manner. We are pleased today to recognize Carly Zeman as this year's recipient of the A.C. Reynolds Award and the Thomas D. Reynolds Prize for Campus Community Service. Congratulations, Carly. And now, please welcome to the podium Jason Smelser, Honors and Degree Program Committee member, to announce this year's Manly Right Award.
Greetings to graduates, families, students, faculty, and staff. The Honors and Degree Programs Committee has chosen Zoe Amel to receive the 2014 Manly E. Wright Award. Zoe, will you please stand? Zoe Amel, graduating with degrees in both economics and mathematics, has earned the Manly E. Wright Award by demonstrating outstanding performance in her coursework, as evidenced by her near-perfect GPA and by her significant undergraduate research accomplishments. One faculty states, Zoe provided invaluable help to me on a highly mathematical economics paper. She not only conducted amazing literature reviews, performed excellent analysis using Mathematica, a software program she had never used before, but she also offered immensely valuable suggestions as she sought to understand and master the complex models and analysis in the paper. No other research assistant has ever provided so much help to me. Another faculty states, Zoe has been an active and stellar participant in the Talk at Tailgate Markets research with me and several other students. She has played a major role in the development of the manuscript based on our results, a manuscript that will be submitted for publication just about the time Zoe graduates. Zoe is thus not only excellent with data and communicating research, but also an impressive communicator. Yet another faculty describes his Calculus 3 experience with Zoe. In this course, the instructor plays a largely organizational role and the students take the lead in determining the pace and direction of conversation in class. Students are given lists of problems to solve, and they take turns in presenting solutions to one another in class, critiquing one another's solutions, and challenging one another to make these solutions as clear as possible. Many, if not most students, find this format a challenging one, at least at first. Zoe dove right in, though. Every time it was her turn to present, she did so unhesitatingly, offering unassailable solutions that were as clear and complete as they were correct. Her mathematical acumen was matched only by her ability to convey her ideas to others. Congratulations, Zoe Amel, on this highest academic honor. You will now be escorted to the last seat and receive your diploma on an engraved silver platter. Please join me in applause.
I'd like to now ask the chair of the UNC Asheville Board of Trustees, King Prather, and UNC Asheville student Marcus Neely to join me at the podium to present this year's first honorary degree. Also, we'd like to ask the family of Franklin McCain to come forward. Since 1986, UNC Asheville has bestowed the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters on extraordinary men and women whose accomplishments and contributions to humanity represent the very best of the liberal arts tradition. North Carolina, let alone the nation, has lost several influential leaders in this previous year. Evelyn Lowry, Julius Chambers, Matthew Little, Reverend T.J. Jemison, all champions in the fight for justice and social equality. While Franklin McCain himself is no longer with us today, his dedication and passion for improving humanity has left a distinct impression on the next generation. I recently had the privilege to talk with a few students who had the opportunity to meet Franklin. They still remember the lecture he gave on campus. These students remember his passion for education, his charisma and his humor, his wit, his political knowledge. Those students were all inspired by the fact that Franklin, as a person similar to Marcus here, a 19-year-old college freshman, was able to stand up with initiative to take action on what Franklin believed was right instead of, quote, waiting for the masses to do it. UNC Asheville, the University of North Carolina system, the state of North Carolina, and our country will forever be indebted to the selfless act Franklin took on February the 1st, 1960. While we confer this honorary degree to members of his family, will you please join me in applauding the achievements of the late Franklin Eugene McCain. Dr. Eli Nahamson Evans, will you please join me? Here in Asheville, the Grove Park Gallery, Dave Steele, Harry's Cadillac, Finkelstein's Pawn, Carpin Steel, and Tops for Shoes all have something in common. Yes, these are all current businesses based here in Asheville, founded years, decades ago, but they are also businesses established by Jews living in the South. Like the Scots-Irish settling in Western North Carolina, looking for opportunities in the mid-18th century, Jewish families and individuals were also doing the same across the American South. No one has captured the more encompassing picture of the histories of Jews in the South than Eli Evans. His most notable work, first published in 1973, remains the reference book for scholars, historians, and individuals seeking a deeper understanding of the American Jewish experience, especially the Southern Jewish experience. The son of Emanuel Evans, the first Jewish mayor of Durham, as well as the owner of the first department store in Durham to integrate its lunch counter, Eli captures many of the unique and challenging aspects of what it was like growing up in a predominantly Christian and segregated South. Evans, however, points out that quote, "While the presence of some anti-Semitism in the South is apparent, it must be balanced against a high degree of pro-Semitism, which is partially responsible for the success of Jews in the South." Eli, thank you for the great work you've provided to our state, this region, and this country. Will all of you please join me in applauding the achievements and the conferring of the honorary degree of Dr. Eli Evans. We're deeply honored this commencement day to have with us one of the most highly acclaimed scholars of education in the United States, Arthur Levine. Would you please join me? There is one challenge that every college and university, and perhaps in every country is faced with, and that's generational and societal change. No one person understands this unique balance and various approaches of how we're dealing with these complexities than Arthur Levine. Arthur Levine has authored, co-authored, or edited 11 books and has published countless articles on how best to approach these challenges. When Arthur is not publishing or speaking, he serves as the president of the Woodrow Wilson National Fellowship Foundation. The foundation's mission is to identify and develop leaders and institutions to meet our nation's critical challenges. The foundation's signature teaching fellowships bring full circle its work in creating access to educational excellence for some of our nation's most talented young people, and thereby serving urgent national needs. Art, for your leadership and numerous contributions to education in America, it is with great pleasure that I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Please help me congratulate Arthur Levine. Come right over here. And it is now my pleasure to welcome to this podium to deliver your commencement address, Dr. Arthur Levine.
Thank you once again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. That's not bad. It's a great honor to be here. Part of the honor is sharing the day with you, but also Franklin McCain and Eli Evans, people I've looked up to throughout my professional career. It's also an incredible honor to be at UNC Asheville, the liberal arts college of the state, which I really believe is the jewel in the UNC crown. And Ann Ponder, who I deeply admire and has done an extraordinary job as chancellor. So look, I have been told the class of 2014 is the best in the entire history of this institution. Now, let me ask this. I'd ask the class to join me in thanking the people who made this day possible. Your family, your friends, your professors. I can't imagine a better Mother's Day present. Look, commencements are bittersweet occasions for graduates and their families. They're celebrations of joy, joint accomplishments. They're times of contemplation. You have a lot of hard decisions to make about the future. There are also times of doubt. Friends are going to go off in different directions, and an unknown future awaits. But for speakers like me, commencements are times in which too much is said about too little for too long. I plan to be merciful today. Pretty merciful. 2-3 hours and I'm out of here. I'm only going to speak for a few minutes, but I promise it'll seem much longer. I want to talk to the graduates. I want to talk to you about what happens Monday morning. We are living through a period of profound, swift, unceasing, unprecedented economic, demographic, technological, and global change. Economically, this country's moving from an industrial to an information economy. And what it means is that jobs requiring low levels of education, they're disappearing. They're moving abroad. The fastest growing jobs in North Carolina and around the country require more education and higher skills than ever before in history. Because the change is so swift, they require a liberal arts education. Nowhere are these changes more apparent than in North Carolina. Traditional industries, manufacturing, apparel, textiles, furniture, they're rebounding, but you know what? They're hiring fewer people than they did in the past. They're being driven by technology. But new industries are booming. Science, technology, the professions, the areas most of you are going to enter. Unfortunately, North Carolina isn't ready for this world. More young people need to graduate from high school and to complete college. And we desperately need your help to make that possible. Demographically, Americans are moving. They're moving to North Carolina and the Sun Belt. They're changing color. By the middle of this century, whites are going to be a minority of the population. They're aging. We're going to see massive retirements and growing demands for social services in the years ahead. And they're coming from abroad. 1 out of 9 Americans today is an immigrant. We need your help. We need your help as part of the most diverse generation in U.S. history. We need you to help knit together a deeply divided nation. New technologies are burgeoning. God, the number of Americans with cell phones rose from 0.1% to 91% in 25 years. In 15 years, Google went from an idea to 6 billion searches a day. In 25 years, the number of web pages went from 1 to 1 billion. New technologies are changing everything. How we're born, how we die, how we live our lives, how we date, how we shop, how we entertain ourselves, how we pay our bills, how we communicate, how we study. The pace of change is only going to increase. When you look back to this period technologically, it's going to seem primitive. We need your help. We need your help in dreaming, designing, and developing a new world tied together by technology. You know, at the same time, This globe is shrinking. Who would have guessed that if you opened a factory in China, it would cause the loss of jobs in the western part of the state? Who would have guessed that kids in Raleigh would be competing for their jobs against kids in India? Who would have guessed that a 2006 invention called Twitter would support a revolution in the Mideast? The fact of the matter is, America is inextricably intertwined for the first time in a global society. Small changes in remote and non-remote corners of the world cause large changes in our daily lives. These new realities are going to create extraordinary opportunities and challenges. We need you. We need your abilities and imaginations to create the first global society in history. It's a bewildering panoply of changes. Yours is a generation living simultaneously in two worlds. One that's fading away, a world in which most of your parents, your professors, grew up, and another that's being born, the world in which you're growing up, the world in which you're going to live your lives. Our hopes and our dreams are with you. We need you. We need you to build this new world, to make it better than today's. This afternoon, this morning, we've come together not only to applaud your achievements, but to celebrate the skills and the knowledge that you've acquired in order to accomplish this. It's reassuring to know that tomorrow is in your hands, most days. Today I want to wish you 3 blessings that are going to enable you to fulfill this promise. The first is hope. I'm not talking about blind or rosy-eyed hope, but the hope necessary to live every day of your life and to hold tight to your dreams. I was doing a study of undergraduates around the country, and I met a young woman, and I asked her, "What are you majoring in?" And she said, "Business." And I said, "Do you like it?" She said, "No, I hate it." I said, "What would you rather be majoring in?" She said, "Dance." And I said, "So why didn't you major in dance?" And she looked at me sort of the way you'd look at your dumb younger brother. And she said, "Money is nice, poor is not nice, I want nice." You know, days later, in the shower, I thought, how sad. She traded away what she wanted to do. You know, she could have done it. She could have managed a dance troupe. She could have had a store that sold dance equipment. She could have been a dance critic. The second thing I wish you is responsibility. You're the most fortunate people in the world. With good fortune comes responsibility. You owe something to other people. I was at a college where there was an exercise. All freshmen were asked, write an essay about what you want to do in the future. And one young woman wrote an essay, and it said, "In my life, I want to be a US senator. I want to be CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and I want to work on nuclear arms control." So I asked her, "What do you need to accomplish this?" And she said, "A killer instinct." That wasn't necessarily the answer I'd been looking for. And I thought, I did what academics do whenever we're in trouble, and I said, "Can you please define that?" And she did. She said, "The ability to walk over people and get what I want." I said, "Didn't understand, now I got it." Okay. And I said, "What about altruism?" And then I defined that for her. And she said that wasn't part of the game plan. And I said, what about nuclear arms control? And she said, you don't get it. If there's nuclear war, I don't get to be CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You know, she may achieve all of her dreams, but I can't think of a student we failed more greatly. I wish you all the ability to look at yourselves in the mirror every day and be proud of what you see for the rest of your lives. Third, last, a sense of efficacy, a belief that you can make a difference. So I got invited to give a speech at a college. And what they'd done was they'd creamed off about 30 of their best seniors, and they were grooming them for the best fellowships you can get after college. So they asked me, talk to them about leadership. So I was about 5 minutes into my talk when I see people looking up and counting the light bulbs, doing this with their watches. And I'm thinking, this isn't going that well. So I tell the group, I don't think this is going that well, and they confirm that this is indeed correct. So I ask what the problem is, and one of the students, sort of sitting right where you are, says, I think this leadership stuff is bunk. I'm really cleaning this up. And at that moment, I thought, this is a teachable moment. I really wanted to humiliate him. So I turned to the rest of the group and I said, how many of you believe that? All but 3 raised their hands. The simple fact is, every one of you is going to make a difference. Everybody won't get to be President of the United States. That's good for you, and that's good for us. But each of you is going to touch dozens of lives in far more fundamental ways. Family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, for ill or for good, you're going to make a difference in every one of their lives, whether you want to or not. So, if you decided to become a teacher, don't do it because it's faddish. Tomorrow is going to require teachers committed to keeping the American dream alive and extending it to all of our children. You can make a difference. If you've decided to become a doctor, a lawyer, enter another profession, don't do it for the money. Tomorrow is going to require leaders who want to help heal a pained nation and a troubled world. You can make a difference. If you decided to go into business or politics, don't do it for the power. Tomorrow is going to require leaders and followers who care deeply about our shared agenda together. You can make a difference. I don't care if you want to be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. You can make a difference. Making a difference is your birthright. No one can take that away from you. Don't give it away. Tomorrow morning is going to require hope, responsibility, and a sense of efficacy. I beg you, please be the people who'll make that commitment, because no one else can. Congratulations.
It is now my great pleasure to welcome our Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jane Fernandez, to the podium to start the conferring of degrees.
Will all of the candidates for the baccalaureate degree please stand? Chancellor Ponder, these students have completed all of the requirements for the baccalaureate degree and have been so certified by the faculty and the registrar. I present them to you for the awarding of the degrees.
In recognition of your successful completion of the course of study and your fulfillment of the requirements, by vote of the university faculty, with the approval of the Board of Trustees and the concurrence of the Board of Governors, and by the authority vested in me by these boards and the state of North Carolina, I confer upon each of you as appropriate the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science and Engineering, or Bachelor of Science. Congratulations. Please now come forward to receive your diplomas individually.
Bachelor of Arts, Elizabeth Margaret Acker. Nathaniel Joseph Adams. Allison Monique Adney, magna cum laude. Alexander Henry Alisi, cum laude. Ike Chukwu Aziofa Anazia. Jacob Ethan Angel. Daniel Uval Arnon, summa cum laude. Rebecca Ray Arrigo. Samantha Key Atkinson. Sydney Ryan Atkinson. Nicole Jewel Barnes. Timothy J. Barrett. Elizabeth Atkins Bates. Samuel Beckett Bathansi. Gina Isabella Beer, cum laude. Kenton Wayne Bell, summa cum laude. Andrew Morrow Banbo, summa cum laude. Brianna Ariel Benefield. Abram Cassidy Benz. Chelsea Ann Beresford, magna cum laude. Erin Caitlin Taylor Berry, cum laude. Katie Blackman. Elizabeth McKay Bauman. Ian Macbeth Boyd, Daniel Joseph Bradley, Ariel Dawn Brambier, William Gavin Breedlove, Timothy Caleb Bridges, magna cum laude, Joshua Michael Brooks, Megan Nicole Brooks, Lauren Elizabeth Brown, Alexandra Marie Browning, Emily Renee Bryan, Kaylin Meredith Buckner, Shane Donovan Burbausch, Mary Lee Caldwell, Shannon Lynn Capes, Angelina Carrasco Songer, Kimberly K. Carver, cum laude, Courtney Ann Catagnas, magna cum laude, Monica Catherine Chow, Robert Roy Chow, Laura Kathleen Chastain, Trevor Francis Clark, Sarah Lene Cohen, Michael Chandler Coleman, magna cum laude, Anna Marie Collier, Brian Walter Connolly, Amelia Claire Coonrob, Jasmine Nicole Cooper, Emily Hope Coxey, Mary Margaret Craig, Miranda Elizabeth Creech, Caitlin Jean Crossley, Sadie Nicole Culberson, cum laude, Douglas Kyle Cutshaw, Haley Elizabeth Cutshaw, Leslie Catherine Davis, William Carl Dawson, Peter Philip Deanna, Amanda Adams DiCarlo, Corey Edward Del Monto, Haley Noel Denhart, Callum Karun Dodson, Andrew Joseph Dolina, cum laude. William Wade Donovan, magna cum laude. Jamie Molly Dorfman. Katsaranya Masianya Downey. Robert Reed Drake. Christina Michelle Ekonomu. Richard Stewart Edens. Melissa B. Anglo, magna cum laude. Susan Elena Enright Hicks, magna cum laude. Andrew James Eppenshade. Stephen Daniel Everhart II, cum laude. Earl Davis Farthing III. Tuesday Farrell, summa cum laude. Sophie Elizabeth Ferguson, cum laude. Teresa Marie Flyerman. Chase Alexander Folman. Samuel Alexander Fontaine. Alexandra May Foote. Meredith Lindsay Carol Foster. Nicole Elizabeth Foster. Patrick Edmund Fran. Eric Matthews Fred. Erin Rebecca Fry. Carson Rose Funk. Sarah Jane Gom. Alexandra Lee Gallipo, summa cum laude. Madeline Ravel Garcia Johnson. Simon Thomas George. Elizabeth Frances Green Guile. Caitlin Ashley Gibbs. Camber Isaac Giberson. Joanna Marie Gothi. Mackenzie Morgan Goff, magna cum laude. Gunnar Gilchrist Good. Rebecca Jean Gordon, magna cum laude. Christopher Scott Graham. James Douglas Grenade. Barbara Hancock Gray. Alex Colby Green. Carolyn Michelle Greenan. Jean-Patrick Gabriel Grier, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Grissinger. Laura Sherman Halperin. Molly Gail Harkavy, magna cum laude. David Edward Hart. Jameson Charles Hartram. Alexandra Ray Harvey. Ryan Taylor Helm, magna cum laude. Lindsay Caroline Henderson. Wilkin Gray Hansarling. Erin Elizabeth Hill. Carrie Ann Hoffman. Melanie Ruth Holmes, magna cum laude. Patricia Christine Holmes. Keegan Thomas Hooper. Elizabeth Barrett Hoover, cum laude. Alyssa Marie Horrocks, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Houghton. J. Cameron Howard. Kimberly Nicole Howard. Brandon Renee Hubbard. Catherine Kent Hughes. Tara Elizabeth Hughes. Sundas Hassan. Emma Catherine Hutchins, magna cum laude. Tarek Jordan Inkidar. Claire Teresa Marie Ennis. Brittany Ann Jackson. Brandon Coulter Jebb Sr. Stuart Ross Johnson, magna cum laude. Corey Rose Jolly. Michael Andrew Jones. Benjamin Thomas Judge, magna cum laude. Michelle Marie Kazmarek. Samuel Joseph Kellum. Thomas Albert Kendrick Jr. Ashley Thomas Kent, cum laude. Emily Ruth Kincaid. Christina Marie Cloyda. Shawnee Joy Kuykendall. Caitlin Alexis Laughter. Georgia Ann Lawrence, cum laude. Jordan Myers Lax. Julie Dale Lee. Mariah Catherine Leonard. Sarah Elizabeth Leonhardt, cum laude. Hannah Michelle Lewis, magna cum laude. Jessica Ann Lewis, cum laude. Christopher Devon Lidke, summa cum laude. Shantoria Ariel Liggins. Derica Christopher Lovett. Nicholas Campbell Lucas, summa cum laude. David Jacob Macias. Catherine Elizabeth Marchand, magna cum laude. Natasia Marie Marlin, summa cum laude. Georgia Elizabeth Mason, magna cum laude. Daniel William Marchar. Kelly Michael McClintock. Robert Julian McIntosh. Jana Dubois McIntyre, magna cum laude. Ryan Alana McLaughlin. Erica Monique McMillan. Mackenzie Dawn McMillan, magna cum laude. Hannah Renee Middleton. Courtney Noel Miller, cum laude. Michael Eli Miller, cum laude. Nathan William Maxwell Miller. Stacy Moreland Miller. Tasman Emily Milner. Alex Jordan Milstein. Ian Patrick Montgomery, summa cum laude. Rebecca Nicole Morello, magna cum laude. Betsy Capico Morris. Benjamin Michael Morton. Samuel Hartman Moser, cum laude. Charlotte Elizabeth Mall. Leonora Aline Federica Muller. Dale Marie Murphy. Timothy Brian Murphy, cum laude. Benjamin Fitzgerald Napper. Casey Brooke Nelson. Zachary Mitchell Newell. Isabel Anne Marie Noel. Shannon Nicole Norman, cum laude. Connor Daniel O'Brien. Courtney Taylor Ott. Joshua Heath Owen. Clint William Owens. Charles Nelson Painter, cum laude. Jordan Therese Patton. Carrie Ann Pavlok. Taylor Lynn Pico. Evelyn Marie Pierce, magna cum laude. Hannah Lois Pollard, summa cum laude. Joseph Kyle Ponder. Lauren Michelle Pope. Elijah Rademacher Poulos. Stephanie Louise Preshon. Hannah Michelle Presnell. April Leanne Queen. Megan Elizabeth Raybuck, magna cum laude. Shannon Lee Radigan. Alicia Louise Randolph. Talon Wayne Rayburn. Michael J. Raymond, magna cum laude. Emily Margaret Reed, summa cum laude. Malia Obradovich Reeder, magna cum laude. Nicholas Gray Rhodes. Jael Donella Richardson. Andre Louis Rivas, magna cum laude. Michelle Reese Roach. Alexander Brooks Robinson. Elizabeth Haley Rogers. Dean Richard Rowland. Christopher Benjamin Rowley. Michelle Dominique Rondon. Allison Genevieve Robb, cum laude. Catherine Rachel Rosenberg. Zevi Geller Ryan. Lindsay M. Sager. Molly Hamilton Sager, cum laude. Caitlin Sarah Sands. Chloe Nicole Satter. Karen Alicia Shavy, magna cum laude. Sheldon Lee Shank, cum laude. Paul Alexander Schroeder. Meredith Morgan Schultz. Christina Kelly Scruggs. Jean Marie Sebastian. Andrew William Sherman. Brennan Erica Sherman. John Luther Shirey III. Trevor James Shoemaker, magna cum laude. Rachel Rebecca Siegel. Taylor Anthony Sluder. Emma Carol Smith, magna cum laude. Harrison Wayne Smith. Alexandra Ray Sneed. Susan Lynn Russell Snyder, cum laude. Minal Mehul Sonigra, magna cum laude. Lavedia Molly Spa, magna cum laude. Kelly Elizabeth Spahn. Joshua David Schwab, summa cum laude. Catherine Grace Starrett, magna cum laude. Jason David Scott Steer. Kinsey Nicole Steer, summa cum laude. Devin Ace Stevens. David Andrew Stamford. Adrian John Suji Jr. Kelsey Andrea Tavares, magna cum laude. Alexandria Fox Taylor, summa cum laude. Arthur Jacob Thorne. Jason Lee Trump. Hannah Rose Van Cott, summa cum laude. Shelby Elizabeth Vecchio. Nora Josefina Vilianma, magna cum laude. Melissa Pauline Vincent. Susan Vinson, cum laude. Randall Chantal Walton. Rebecca Jean Ward, magna cum laude. Maggie Jean Ayers, Washaleski. Sarah Rose Weaver, cum laude. Christopher Matthew Webb, magna cum laude. Matthew Scott Weingarten, magna cum laude. Andrea Beth Wheeler. Kaya Shade Wilborn Hyde. Elliot Aaron Williams. Sarah Elizabeth Winkler. Frederick William Wood. Robert Zebulon Wright. Jonathan Henderson Young, cum laude. Carly Elizabeth Zeman, cum laude. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Charles Aycock Bowden IV. Samantha Elizabeth Moody. Bachelor of Science in Engineering. This degree is awarded jointly by UNC Asheville and North Carolina State University. Nicholas James Falk. Robert Curtis Fussell IV. Jason Douglas Hopper. Dakota Charles Lazenby, summa cum laude. Nathan Lewis. Donald Jason McQuarrie, magna cum laude. Homer Cullen Reed IV. Hallie Elizabeth Schaefer, summa cum laude. Jason Patrick Shores. Brian David Short. Bachelor of Science, Mindy Lee Aiken. Jordan Vincent Airy. Kelsey Reed Armbruster. Emily Louise Avery. Lauren Elizabeth Baker. Hannah Henrietta Belknap Bisler, magna cum laude. Thomas Brooks Benge, magna cum laude. Jessica Nicole Bickett. Benjamin Michael Bobo. Candice Brooke Bowling, cum laude. Melanie Andrea Bones. Kayla Rebecca Brank, summa cum laude. Philip Anthony Bro, cum laude. Daniel Joseph Caldwell. Rachel Ann Carson, summa cum laude. Robert William Castro, magna cum laude. Kyle Stephen Cavagnini, magna cum laude. Ansel Scott Clayton, magna cum laude. Amy Amanda Kluwer, cum laude. Caitlin Rianne Connolly. William Patrick Creighton, Jr. Nathan Mathis Culberson. Daryl Jack Cunningham. Kurt Allen Dietrich. Jessica Lee Donahue. Hannah Olivia Dosa. Aaron Anatole Dowdy. Trevor Kyle Duffels. Laura Victoria Ellis, cum laude. Kristen Ann Emery, summa cum laude. Chris Marie Agnew. Joshua Allen Fernandez. Michael Alexander Flanagan. Brittany Lane Ford. Julie Ashley Foxworth. Whitney Ann Garrison. Alexandria Carol Gates. Eric James Gilleran. Anna Maria Goodman. Jessica Allison Goodwin. Daniel Joseph Grady, Jr. Ian Charles Graham. Alicia Bauer Grismeyer. Joshua Matthew Gutowski. Maureen Gates Haley. Abby Elizabeth Harris. Cassandra Rupia Harvey. Sam Romine Harwell IV. Kurt James Hybert. David Lane High, magna cum laude. Chad Wesley Howard. Ashley Danielle Hunt. Daniel Kurt Hutton, cum laude. Christina Elizabeth Johnson. Paige Elizabeth Johnston. Kaylee Aiden King, summa cum laude. Catherine Joy Canwisher, magna cum laude. Caroline Ruth Ketchum, magna cum laude. Abigail Rose Killam, cum laude. Amanda Brittany Knapp. Patricia Sarah Charlotte Knapp. Dylan Scott Ladner. Clary Sage Lamberton, magna cum laude. Jerron Demetrius Lee Lang. Andrea Lee Langfeld. Kristen Nicole Lawson. Jared Davis Lacey. Eri Stelios Lavonos. Hans Robert Lohmeyer. Thomas Joseph Lovejoy Hinkle. Amelia Ruth Lynch. John Carter McGee. Renee Marcel Martinez. Rosa Alejandro Martinez. Whitney Stafford Marvels. Kendra Adia Mayfield. Corey Evans McClintock, magna cum laude. Alexander Allen McGinnis Yates. Hector Kenneth Melgar. Sarah Erica Merritt, summa cum laude. Jordan Zachary Miller. Kelly Lynn Miller, summa cum laude. Amelia Mayhew Miller McDonald. Anna Felice Moore. Christine Elizabeth Moran. Grace Lynn Morrow. Aaron George Mosey. Nicole Lynn Munger. Nambi Joaria Nduga. Harry Russell Neighbors III. Luke Wright Norton. Russell Zachary Pennell. Stuart Douglas Parker. Taylor Nicole Perron. Laura Lee Petritz. Grant Edward Racer. Catherine Kelly Reedy. Eliza Taylor Ritchie. Scott James Robinson. Samuel Mayer Roseby, magna cum laude. Elliot Andrew Riard. John Lewis Ruggiero Jr. Matthew Cassidy Russell. Kylie McGann Ryan, magna cum laude. Harry Wilson Samuels III. Emily Louise Sachs. Elizabeth Faye Shadrach. James Hector Sharp, cum laude. Benjamin Joseph Shields, summa cum laude. Brian Keith Shipman. Taylor Keith Schufert. Abra Chantal Sickles. Kylie Cassidy Smith. Ryan Douglas Smith. Jessica Hope Squire. James Edward Stanton. Adam Barrett State. Ethan Lewis Stiebel. Michelle Lee Struess. Zachary Daniel Stroop. Jackson Jordan Stump. Margaret Logan Swearingen. Alicia Christine Tagliatella, magna cum laude. Tara Joanne Tate. Sarah Lynn Thompson. Martha Allison Turpin, cum laude. Tyler John Vanston. Melissa Ann Wagner. Shannon Lorraine Washburn, cum laude. Hannah Nicole Watkins. Gregory Perry Watson, Jr. Matthew Raymond Watson, cum laude. Olivia Jean Wells. Rachel Denise Wells. Megan House Whitley. Gabrielle Nicole Whitmire, cum laude. Rebecca Gwen Williams, summa cum laude. Amy Frances Wood, magna cum laude. Shuo Zhang. Zachary Michael Ziemba. Zoe Lucille Hamel, summa cum laude.
As we conclude our commencement, we will be launching you to your next step. As a UNC Asheville graduate, you know that your education prepares you well for whatever challenges you may face. With great expectations, we congratulate you. Now that the class is standing together, this is the moment. If you will move your tassels to the left as I say these words, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of North Carolina, Asheville, Board of Trustees, the UNC Board of Governors, and the great state of North Carolina, I proclaim you graduates of the University of North Carolina, Asheville. Congratulations, class of 2014. As we conclude our May commencement exercises for the University of North Carolina, Asheville, I ask that you please remain at your place until the platform party, the faculty, and our newest alumni have passed. Graduates, as you leave here today and go into the world, I know you will remember fondly your alma mater, the University of North Carolina, Asheville. To conclude our ceremony at this time, I welcome Caitlin Sands, class of 2014, to lead us in the singing of our alma mater. The words to our alma mater are printed in today's program. Please stand.
Hail our alma mater, of praise. May we love and honor you until the end of days.